Guys, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create a money in the corner here, and show you how to create a GUI that allows you to buy a tool using that money, and gives you the tool when you click a button. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is create a GUI. So if you don't have, you're going to need both of these. Well, yeah, you're going to need both of these. So if you don't have them, you go find the top here, click view, and then you click, make sure properties is there, and you click properties and you click explorer. Then these will come up. Now that has nothing on it. It only has something on it when you select something here, and it shows you all of its properties. Or you can select it in the game, and like you select it here and it pops up all its properties. Anyway, you don't need that part. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hover over to the Explorer and click on and hover over where it says Start GUI. And next to it, you're going to click the plus next to it. And then in here, well, if this doesn't come up, if Screen GUI here doesn't come up, you can just search up Screen, and it should come up just like that. Now you click on it, and that inserts a Screen GUI like inside of it. Like this is where all the stuff is from the base plate, and you've got all the stuff from replicated storage and script service, and all that kind of stuff. And that's in there all the different things you need. So each one is used for different things. Like starter pack is where you have a tool and you're going to put, and it basically you're going to have it automatically when you join the game. We're not going to use that because we want it where you click a button after you've bought it, and then it gives you the tool. Now this isn't exactly maybe the easiest thing, but it's if you don't do the buying thing, which I will do, it's easier. I'm not sure on that, but I do know how to do with the buying more. So anyway, you start with a plus, and then you look through until you find the Screen GUI, and you click on it, and it should open up this little thing here. I'll show you again. So plus, and then click Screen GUI. If it doesn't come up, you can type Screen, and again it comes up. And then here you can go over to here, and then name it whatever you like. Scroll down if you need to, or up. Name it whatever you like. Don't select this. Make sure it's Screen GUI, not Starter GUI. And you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to name it Tool GUI, just because we're doing it about tools. You don't have to add GUI on the end. I just did it because why not? And then you can customize your GUI any way you like. But I'm gonna first of all, I'm going to create a frame by clicking on the plus next to it and then inserting a frame. Now in properties or like this, you can scale it however you want it, make it full screen, although the best way to do that is not by dragging. The best way to make it full screen is set it so this is 1, 0, 1, 0. This will set it to the whole screen no matter what different device you're at. See, it's whole screen there, whole screen there, whole screen there. If you don't know what I'm doing right now, you just click that button and it shows all the loads of different devices that you can do. Ignore the create road there. That's one of my plugins, but I'm just gonna go back. Anyway, I for a moment do not want it, so I'm gonna set it to something like this. And that sets it to a different size. So this one here, so this bit is the x-axis. So this is this axis. So if you set it to 0.1, that means that the bit at the top is going to be 1/10 of the whole way, and this is the y-axis, which is down here. So, and if you set that to 0.1, it's going to be 1/10 of this whole way for that side. You could set it to 0.5 and it would be half of it. I'll just show you half, and then, or you could set it to 1 and that would be the whole way. Or you could even set it as 0.01 if you want, and it's very, very small. But that's 100th of the way. You could probably even set it to 1,000th of the way. It's still there. I mean, don't know why you want to do that, but yeah. For now, I'm just going to set it at 0.2, 0.1. I wouldn't use the second number, always the first number, because the second number is the offset, and the offset basically it stays the same on all screens. But so with this is the scale section is the first number, so I always use the scale, because if you want it 1/10 of the way, but you put it in offset, on your screen it could be 1/10 of the way, but on a phone it could be half the way, or even the whole way, which you don't want. Whereas if you set that to set it to 0.1 for 1/10 on the scale, then it only does 0.1 no matter what screen you're on, big or small. And that's how that works. Anyway, so I'm gonna set it like this. I quite like this. And then I'm just gonna, and then you have all the colors and everything, and you can customize colors by clicking on this. And you can set the border size pixel to more if you want like a big thick border, or you can set it to 0 if you don't want any. I'll leave it at 1 for a moment. And then you could also name it something else if you want to. I'll keep it as frame for now. Background transparency, you might have it transparent. You might have it, I don't know, random color. And you could even change the border color. Some of them things like active and selectable. I don't usually, in rotation, style, I don't usually use. There's lots of stuff that you probably won't get to use. Visible is quite important if you're doing an opening closing GUI where you click a button and it will pop up in the middle. Anchor point, if because it's set to 0, 0, which is this top corner, so it means the position of 0, 0. If the position will always be the position of that specific point, and then it will make the shape of there. If it's 0.5, 0.5, it would be in the center, and then it then that position will be set to the center, and then the shape will be around the outside. That's helpful if you want it directly in the middle, because if you just set that 0.5, 0.5 like this, 0.5, 0.5, it'll be the middle of the x and the y-axis, but because it's set on the corner of the shape, it means that one corner is on the center. So it's not centered, is it? But if it's in the center of the shape, we're saying 0.5, 0.5, it's directly in the middle. We don't need. I'm not going to have that. You can have it if you want, but I'm not going to have that. I'm just going to have it partially down, like that. Right. And next, you can add. I mean, you can add a text. Click on the plus and add a text label. This is just going to be to show how what the tool is actually going to be. So this time the size isn't the whole screen, it's the size compared to the thing. So if you set the front number here to 0.5, it's only going halfway across this because it's inside the frame, whereas if it was in the normal screen, not inside the frame, it goes halfway across the entire screen. And then if you set that to like 1 there, it would go that way across the entire the screen. and ignore the fact that it says label at the moment. You can ignore that. You can change that. So in a sec. So you can change the name, and again you can change the color. I mean, I'll just leave it like that. And you can change the name, maybe title, I want to call it, because it's going to be the title of the thing. And then down here, because it's a text label, you can change the text. So burger, say. And then scaled, you can mess around with all these. And then font. And here you got all these different fonts. I'll keep it on highway. And text color, you can like have it white or red. I don't know why I want to do red on a red background, but or yellow or black or whatever color you want. Just this rainbow, whatever you want. And you can also, if you don't want to have a different background there, you can just set the background transparency to 1, and then it will have and just show that. And then you can like change like text stroke color. That doesn't do anything. You have to set this to 0, and then and you can have like things like that. That's what the text stroke is. And you can have all things like that, and you can set it to all these different things. You can mess around with those properties down there, or even these properties if you wanted to. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is we're not going to put something on, we're not going to do anything with this plus. You're going to go hover over the frame and then click the plus again, and then select a text button. Make sure you don't accidentally select text box. They've got the same image thing, but it's got to be text button, because text box is where players can type whatever they want onto it in game. And it won't work as a button. You can't like click it or anything. Well, you can click it and type whatever you want into it, but you can't click it to actually make it whatever it and make it do something and run code. So make sure you select text button. So you click on text button and it inserts it with that. And now I'm just going to copy the size of that and put it into this, so it's roughly the same size. And then you can do whatever you want with this. And then I'm going to set that so it's like maybe at the bottom or something, and then I'll just set that a bit more. This is actually, no, I won't. I'll set that to like 2. 4, no, it's too much. Yeah, I do this all the time. This is just something. And then it's at the anchor point, 0.5, 0.5. You don't need to do all this, and then you can do. You don't need to do this if you don't want. This is just me customizing my own thingy. And then I'm gonna make it like blue button, and then I can change again, because it's a text button. You can change the text. I'm going to change it to by scaled, and then you can mess around with it, all that kind of stuff, and customize it how you like. So at the moment that looks pretty decent, but if I join the game, it doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything here. Just literally doesn't do anything. And there's no money up there. And that's because now we need to start coding. So to start coding, firstly we're going to have the money appear here. So you go to service script service, find it here. It should be underneath replicate storage and above server storage. And then you click the plus, and then you insert a script. Make sure it's not a module script, or a local script, because they're two different things. Just a normal script. Click on it, and then this should pop up. You might be a bit scared. I remember when I first saw scripts, I was a bit scared of them because they frightened me as they popped up. But don't worry about that. And I'm going to click on the script, and then I'm just going to rename it to leader stats. And you might think, why would I rename it leader stats? Well, for a player, for a GUI, for a little thing with your cache you see on most tycoons and stuff, there needs to be a value inside a folder inside the player object, which will appear in here when you join the game, and then that value inside the leader stats folder will be called your currency name, and have its value would be your currency. So the first thing we need to do is detect a player joining the game. So we need to do game lowercase g dot, there's no spaces in between this, dot players dot player added. So it says game, which is all of this, and then it goes to the players here, dot player added, and colon connect function. So what this is doing at the moment is this is going to the players, and then whenever this players thing detects a player joining, which is what player added is, it connects it to this function. And here you're going to want to type inside these brackets player, and that basically assigns this as the player, and now it knows that whenever this comes up in the code, it's talking about the player that joined the game. And then you go to the out of these parentheses and then enter, and you'll see this end appears. That shows the end of the function, and this is the function whatever's going to happen in here. So you say local, all lowercase, space equals space, sorry, local, and then space, and then you can call it whatever you want, preferably something to do with folders or leader stats, and then you space equals space instance dot new folder comma player. So what this is going to do is it's going to for you, it's going to insert a folder, and it's going to put it inside the player. It doesn't, but we need to, before we go on, we need to assign some properties to it. So we need to assign its name, and that's actually it with a folder, but there's some other stuff like parts you have to assign, like its color, its different surfaces, its material, can collide, anchored, all that kind of stuff. We don't need to do that with a folder, luckily. So once you do this, you enter, and then you do folder. Basically, what this local bit's doing, local folder, is basically the same thing as the player. Whenever this folder comes up, this word folder comes up, it knows that it's going to be the folder it's spawned in. And you go folder dot name, and this is one of the most important parts of the entire script. So you say equals, and you put inverted commas like you did here, and then you type in leader stats. No capitals, no spaces whatsoever. It has to be exactly that, otherwise it won't work at all. And not even the giving thing script would work. Not even where it gives you and buys it. It just won't work if that is not called these stats. So that now puts the folder inside the player. Just get a drink. Puts the folder inside the player and names it leader stats. No capitals. So then you go out of the inverted commas and 2 enters. That is a nice gap there, just to neaten it out. And then you do local space, and I'm just gonna call it cash. You can call it coins, anything you want, gold, silver, doesn't matter. And local cash, and this is doing the same thing. So whatever this is going to be equal to here, whenever this word cash comes up, it knows it's referring to whatever I'm going to put here. It's creating a variable for cash. That's what they're called. So here we're going to do instance.new. Then we do those inverted, those commas again, and we type capital I int value, just like it is here. Int value with a capital I and a capital V. And then outside of the inverted commas, you have to put a normal comma, a space, and then folder. So this, you don't have to put instance.new every time a local comes up. It's just that these specific variables need that, because you're creating a new thing and then calling that the variable. So basically what it's doing here with the comma folder, or what it's doing here, instance.new int value, it's creating a new int value, which is a type of value specifically for numbers. And you can, and then what the comma folder bit is putting it inside the folder. It's putting the value inside the folder, which is inside the player. So say this was the player, this tool GUI, this would be the folder, and one of these would be the cache value, and it's inside the folder, which is inside the player. That's what this is doing. And then you go down and say cache.name is equal to, and then in here you put whatever you want your currency to be named. So it could be coins, or it could be cash, or it could be gold, or it could be rubies, whatever you want. I'm going to keep it as cash for now because I called it cash here. It doesn't have to be cash, the name it doesn't have to be folder there, but then if you change it now, you've got to make sure that this is the same. So once you've done that, you need to go down again. With the folder you didn't need to do this, but with the cache you do. So you have to do cache.value, and this is going to be equal to the amount of cash you want a player to start with when they join the game. So I don't know how to do saving, where it saves. So for a moment, you're just gonna you can choose any number you want. I'm going to choose 50 because that's a nice amount of cash. And you could have 100, you could have 1,000, you could have 0 even, and you have to earn your cash, or you could have 1 billion. It depends. I mean, you could even do that. You can even do something stupid like this. You could even do something stupid, and it will literally give you that much cash. It doesn't matter what number you put it will always be that number of cash. And you can even do 50.7 like that, and it will literally give you that much cash precisely. But you probably don't want to be doing something that's stupid. So I set the cache.value is equal to 50, and that is all you need to do to have the cache in the corner. And to leave it, you can't exit off. It doesn't delete the script. Or you could just go to the top and then click that, or click classic baseplate or whatever the name of your game is, and just click it, and it'll take you back to this. The script is still there. It's just that it's not in front of you. So then if I play the game, obviously the burger thing doesn't do anything, but it does give you 50 cash in the corner. It says cash and it gives you 50. And what I'm talking about, the folder inside the player and the cache tray inside the folder, is if you go into players, open it up, and then you see it won't always be Bugs49 because that's my account name. It will be whatever your account is named. I want what? I changed it. Oh no. Hi. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Oh, it's display name. That's probably new with the new updates on Roblox. Anyway, hi. Oh, it doesn't do anything. Anyway. And then if you open up the player, you'll see it's that leads to that folder wouldn't usually be there. So if you open it up, that's where you got your cache, 50 cache, and if you change it to 5, it changes to 5. And if you change it to a really big number, it changes it to that kind of, that's as high as you can go, actually. That's the unlimited cache. You can't really go any higher than that. That's what I set it. Anyway, go to 50, and now you should have that cache. But when you buy it, it doesn't do anything. It won't take away your cache or anything. So now we're gonna make it so whenever you click that, it'll take your money away and you buy it, and then it will change to give, and then you click it again and it gives you the thing and puts it down here. But first, what you want to do is, if you haven't done this already, then you don't need to do this, but you need to find a tool. So I'm going to say burger. Why is that coming up? That's gruesome. So, and then you click on the one you want, and then make sure it is a tool. If it doesn't say this, then you got to choose another one. But put this tool into starter pack. Yes, for the moment, and then you'll notice if this starter pack's closed, open it up, and now it's inside here. Inside there. And at first you want to test it out, see if it works. But at the moment it should spawn down here, and then so it works, but if you click it doesn't take your money away. And that's what we're just about to code. So you click on this, and then you drag it, and then hold it so it's above replicated storage, and then release, and it's moved into replicated storage, and now it won't appear there. Don't worry, it's not messed it up, because we're going to make it so you click this. You don't want it to be there when you join the game, only when you click this. Obviously it still doesn't do anything because we haven't coded it yet. Right, I'm just going to actually rename that to buy. And then, so the first thing you want to do is you want to hover over the plus or on your button, and then you click on the plus and insert not a normal script and not a module script, a local script. And it should have this little person on the thing, unlike the other one. So in here, it's done it again. Like it pops up in front. You want to do script dot parent. So what this is going to do is it's going to find where the script is, and then it's going to find the parent of it, which is this, and then it's going to do dot mouse button one click colon connect function, and this time you don't need to put anything in those parentheses. So what this is doing by mouse button one click is it's finding the parent, and it's detecting if it's been clicked, and then it's connecting it to a function, and this time you don't need anything in there. And actually, before you do that, just make that go down a couple of lines. You say local, again no capitals in the local, player. We can change it to person or whatever, but I'm going to name it to player, and it's equal to game, all lowercase, dot players, make sure it's exactly like this, dot local player. And the reason we didn't do this in here is because only local scripts can detect a local player. These scripts don't know what they can't detect the local player. And basically, the difference between a local script and a normal script is that a local script only affects the client. So normal scripts act across the entire server and everyone sees what they do. But local scripts, only only a single player can see that. So if like the text on something's changed on your screen because of a local script, because of something you did, it won't change on someone else's screen. But if that was a normal script and it changed because of something you did, it would change for everyone. That's the difference. So basically, this gets a player whenever this is basically talking, or wherever this is. Yeah, just wait a second. Oh, my headphones. So basically, if whenever this is called, it'll know that it's the player it's talking about. It's the local player. Right. So once you've done all this, you go to the end here, and then go down enter, and again an end appears to mark the end of the function that is triggered once that button's been clicked. So then, actually, keep forgetting this. So you go down again from here. So your local, again, tool, or name whatever you want. I'm going to call it burger. It's creating a variable for the burger. So whenever this is called, it knows that it's talking about the burger. So what you do here is you do game.replicated storage. Make sure it's exactly like that. Dot, and then the name of your whatever it's been called there. So in my case, it's game.replicated storage cheeseburger, but you might have a ham sandwich, or it would be like called game.replicated storage.ham sandwich. So once you've done that, that is not quite it with the locals variables. So for one final time, I think, yeah, you do local and then cache. Now this won't get it from the other script because these two scripts are completely different at the moment. I haven't made them so they work together, and they pretty much never will work together. They're doing completely different things. Right, so you do local cache, you do player, so it's getting the player here, dot leader stats, which will, and it's got to be no capitals there, otherwise again it won't work, dot, and whatever you named your currency here. So local cache is equal to player.leaderstats.cache. And that's all you need to do. So now you go in here, and then, actually no, damn it, another local thing. But before you do any more, you go into replicate storage, click the plus, and then type in remote, if that doesn't come up already, and click remote event. Don't click remote function, we don't need one of those. It's a remote event. And then you click on it, and then you rename it to buy, and whatever your thing is, you might just say buy tool. I'll name buy burger. And then in the script, again, you're going to go local event is equal to game.replicate storage, and then dot whatever you called your remote event. So I called mine buy burger. And then basically whenever event is said, it will know that you're talking about this thing. So, yeah. Not this really weird thing. Or the burger. So that's all the variables you need. So then here you go if space if cash, and then you do a great, and then you do one of these symbols, and then an equals symbol like that, which means if cash is greater than or equal to, and then you put whatever you want the price to be. At the moment I'm going to keep mine below that, otherwise they wouldn't be able to buy it. So I'm going to keep mine 25. So if cash is greater than or equal to 25, then I'm going to, actually, there's another thing. You can do it in there, but you don't need to. You can click the plus on the frame and then insert a bool value. Make sure it's a bool value into here, and then name it bought. And if that's, then don't click that. Make sure it's empty, unchecked, and basically how a script checks and knows if it's unchecked or checked, it says true or false. So if it's unchecked, it's false, and if it's checked, it's true. So at the moment you want to leave it false. So it bought, basically it'll change it if it's been bought. If the burger's been bought, then that will be changed to true. And then it will know when you click it again to not buy it again and to give it to you instead. If you know what I mean. So you want to, if cash is greater than or equal to 25, then you go into if, actually no, sorry, you go to here, go down and say if script.parent.parent.bought value is equals false, then I might just blow you away there. So basically this check. So if you do when you do script.parent before, where did I put that? Oh yeah, script.parent here. That gets the parent. But if you do script.parent.parent, it gives knows you're talking about the parent of the parent. So basically the grandparent. But you don't say grandparent, you just say parent twice. And then it says .bought, which means it looks for one of these three. And if its name is bought, then it knows you're talking about that. And then .value here. And then if that's equal to false, you have to put two equals if it's inside an if statement. So, and if that's equal to false, then it will run whatever inside. And for here, you just need to make sure that this if statement is inside. Oh no, it's supposed to. Is inside the other if statement. So it checks if that's equal to false, then if cash is bigger than 25 or equal to it, then it would run it. I have to check it two things. So once it's done that, you have to basically say cash dot value. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be dot value. Sorry, dot value. Make sure that's cash dot value, not cash. So if cash dot value is greater than or equal to 25, then cash dot value is equal to cash dot values minus 25. And what this will do is it's saying that the new value for cash is equal to the old value for cash minus 25. Basically, in other words, it takes away the money and you bought it. And then it goes here and it said script.parent.parent.bought.value is equal to true. Basically what that does is it gets the bought.value thing and then it makes it true. But you don't make it true here, just the script does it. So once it does that, then it does script.parent. Now this is only this by here dot text. So at the moment it's by and then it is equal to give. And what this will do is once you've bought it, it will change the text here to give instead of buy. Now, if you want to, now it will once it's done that, it'll only change the text for the player, for one player, the player that's bought it, because it's a local script. And then, because it's give rather than so if the value is equal to false, if bought.value is equal to false, that means I haven't bought it, so then they pay for it. But if it is equal to true, it's different. So you need to go down from this end and then do backspace and then type else, or lowercase, and then go down. And that basically, if it's equal to false, then it will run this. But if it's not equal to false, instead it will run what's ever going to be here. That's what the else does. Else is basically like otherwise do this. I'm just going to save it. Save the Roblox as tutorial. Yeah, you probably should save it. Tutorial toolgiver. Blank there. Create, and this is just because it's the first time I saved it. If it's not the first time you saved it, then you just usually go there and click save Roblox. That'll do the same thing. Anyway, so inside the else section, because you have bought it, because it would be equal to true, there's nothing else that would be equal to. That would be equal to true or false. It's not in between. It will either be true or false. There's no other way. So if it's not equal to false, then it's going to be equal to true. So then if it's equal to true, it means that you've bought it. It means you definitely have bought it. So then it doesn't need to do the cash.value take away 25, because then that would still take away your money. Instead, it will say, actually no, you don't need the burger here. Just remember, you don't actually need the burger. Then you say event there, and this is where it gets weird. Colon fire server, just like that. So event colon fire server with a capital F and a capital S. And basically that means this event will fire and all the scripts in the server will be able to detect it. And the reason we can't just give the burger now is that if we give the burger now using the local script, the burger won't work, because local scripts don't allow it to. But if it's given to the player by a normal script, then it works. But the only way for the local script to trigger the normal script is by using a remote event, and basically the local script fires the remote event and the normal script picks it up and then does code once it's picked it up. So now what we've got to do is make that normal script. So we can't use this one, we've got to create another one. So if you go into server script service and click the plus again and insert a normal script again, this one is going to be called give burger, say. And then here you want to type local event is equal to game.replicatestorage.byBurger, and that is basically going to do the same thing. No, it's gonna whenever that's said, it's going to it's going to talk about this. And then next you need to go local burger is equal to game.replicatestorage.burger. No, not cheeseburger, whatever your tool is named, and you can name that whatever you want. And that is then whenever this is called, it refers to this. And it knows you're talking about that. So if you go down, trying to think if we need anything more. No, you don't. So if you go down twice, then say event dot on server event connect function, and here you put player. So here it's triggering it now. Here, whenever this is called, it knows, because this is going to be the player that somehow managed to trigger this by using the local script. So now it knows that this is going to be the player. And then so basically whenever the event is fired for the server, it connects it to a function in the script, and then the function's whatever's going to go in here, and then the player is what is the thing that triggered that, and that's what's gonna, and the script is gonna use a player. So what you need is you need to do local new burger or new tool or whatever is equal to burger, whatever your tool name was called up there, colon clone with those brackets. You don't need to put anything in those brackets, but you need to leave it, and that clones the burger, makes a duplicate of it. And if you go down, you need to say new burger dot parent. Now you're not going to do anything with the parent. You're going to assign it to a parent. So when you clone it, its parent would be replicated storage, but you're going to change it by saying is equal to, and then you put its new parent in the position where it's its new parent. So it's at the moment its new parent is going to be inside the player. So you say player dot backpack. Backpack, and the backpack is basically is a folder inside the player, and it puts it into there, which puts it down here. Now at the moment I'm just going to check if it works, so hopefully it does, otherwise that would be annoying. So it should buy it and then give, and it gives you a burger. And you give it again and it duplicates, puts another one. And you can't spend any more money because it won't change back, because it's always going to be equal to. You can't, unless you, I mean, I might add a cell again, which probably would be really simple. You just need another button somewhere that just changes the value, and then that changes back to buy. It's probably just going to be really, really simple. But that will probably be another time. It works for now, and I think if you die, does it go away? Did it go away if you die? Oh, it changes back. We don't want that. Right, to stop that changing back, and you have to buy it again when you die, what you have to do is you have to go into Start GUI, click on the tool GUI, or whatever you named it at the beginning of the video, and then you go over to properties, where it says reset on spawn, that's got to be set to false. So then it doesn't reset whatever has happened in the GUI once you've respawned. So this time you buy it, you give a couple of burgers, and they work. But then when you die, it should say give, and then you shouldn't have to pay to get your burgers back because you've already paid. It's just better if you do that. So people don't get scammed on your game. Scammed by your own game. That would not be good. The burgers go away, but you can just get another one. And once again, you don't have to pay. So, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And I just saw it was a very long video, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And see you later.